In this video, I'm going to show you how this template was created. I'm going to show you how master pages are used and show you how a grid is applied to master pages using placeholder boxes, and show you how text and images can be organized. Now, InDesign is very unique because it works very similarly to PowerPoint, except that with PowerPoint, you have one design for the border and kind of the overall look of each slide. But InDesign allows the designer to create lots of different versions of how that page might look, and then select which version to apply to which slides, or as we say, pages in InDesign. And so that process is managed by the concept of master pages, and that's what you're seeing up here. Now, imagine that these are the designs of the individual pages. Now, you can see I've got a couple of blank ones up here, but I have two master pages created for this template. And in some templates, you have lots of different kinds, lots of different versions of master pages, but for this one, I only have two because it's a relatively simple portfolio. You can see master page D looks like this. And all it is, it's blank, it's a blank page, but it's got a border that's been created on it. And then it's got a series of boxes that have been used as placeholders. And so you'll see how those are used in just a minute. But if I click on them and hit delete, then they go away and it's just a plain white box. I hit Control Z in order to undo that delete and to get that box back. So that's what master page D looks like. I also have one for E, and this is how it looks, and it's the same, but it's got the same boxes, but it's also got some smaller boxes and rectangles that have been drawn as well. So now what I want you to look at is see how it says D and E here. And if you look at the pages within my template, you can see that on the very top of each of them, it has a D or an E on top. Now, most of them have a D on the top, but one of them has an E. And so if I go and look at this very first slide here, and I may use the term slide and I may use the term page throughout this, but I mean the same thing. This one has the D master page applied to it. And the way that I did that was I clicked over here and I dragged the D on top of this and let go. And so that's how we ended up with that D. And if I hover over, see it says D master applied. Now, on this page, I have added a series of text boxes within the boxes that are on that master page. And so you can see if I click here and delete, that text box will go away. And if I click here and delete, that text box will go away. But these, if I click, they cannot be deleted right here because they are placeholders on the master page. If I want to delete them off here, I have to go to the master page, and then I can delete them, and watch what happens. On all the pages that have a D on them, they will now have a white box instead of a gray one. Now, the reason why we have those boxes in here is because they're going to be placeholders so that we keep consistent all the arrangement of text and images throughout the rest of the template. Let's go ahead and look at E. Now you can see here, this is the master page E, and that has been applied to this page here. And you can see I have taken those boxes as a guide, and if I click and delete my images, you will see those boxes underneath, see? Now, I've used those boxes that were on the master page as a guide to place all of the images and all of the colored boxes on this page. And to make sure that if I were going to create another page similar to this, not necessarily a table of contents, but if this portfolio got larger and I wanted to do a section that was just devoted to, for example, residential projects, and I had 4 of them, I might have the best picture from each of those 4 projects here, and I may have down here a different set of colors for my wayfinding devices. It said, you know, 1-bedroom apartment, historical residence, etc. over here. And so that's why this master page is created, because I might need an arrangement where I've got some wayfinding devices and some great images throughout, and all I want to change are the text boxes. So these master pages have been applied throughout here. You can see I have the same text box here. I've got the same text box here that's been created, right? And I've got some images that have been placed. And we'll talk about how to place and adjust images later. But right now you can see that the organization of the master page D really serves me well to organize content that's repetitive across pages within my InDesign template in a way that makes them always consistent. So all I have to do to change the master page is just click and drag, and you can see if I drag the E on top of here, this page will change and it will now have all of those boxes for the master page E. But of course we don't want that, so I'm going to go ahead and drag that D right back on top. So now that you have an understanding of how master pages are created, I'm going to just show you really quickly how to make a new one. All you need to do to create a new one is make sure that you're selected up here in the master page section, and you just hit this plus sign and you can create a new master page. Oh, pardon me. You can see when I clicked that button, I was still clicked down here, and so it created a page down here that was D. In order to create a master page up here, I can go up here and click a new one. And see, you can see a new one's been created. Okay, I'm going to undo those. And now what I'm going to do is go ahead and talk you through a little bit about how a grid is applied to master pages. Now, a grid is really important to understand when you're doing graphic design, because a grid is applied to any sort of template to allow you to stretch and move images in a consistent way. Now, the quote-unquote grid can be made any way, any shape, any arrangement, but most templates have some kind of grid that has been created so that there's consistency in sizes and shapes. So let me show you about the grid that I have used here. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to select this master page here to show you a little bit more. Now, what you're seeing is the grid that I have created to guide the layout of my template, but it's actually based on an image that you might be familiar with. So if I go to File and I hit Place, I'm going to show you where I got the grid. You can see here, once I grab that image, I can just go ahead and click and it will be in my template. I'm now holding down the Shift and Control button at the same time, hovering over the upper left-hand corner and reducing the size so that it fits nicely. Now, this is a really big image. We'll talk about resolution in a little bit. But if I hold down my Shift and Control button and I select, now I have this beautiful image of the golden mean, and all I did was I placed this on my page, and then I created boxes by using this tool, clicking and dragging, and double-clicking on the swatch and changing the color. Now, the reason why I created this grid based on the golden mean is because now it allows me to organize information on each page with beautiful proportions that work well, to the human eye and work well for this project. And you can see here, I've got a lot of different kind of modules created as a result. So you can see as I click through here, that grid becomes useful because look, I used one of those boxes to create my wayfinding device here on the lower right-hand corner. I've used this box to create a text box where I can start to explain the purpose of each assignment. And you can see here, this is the biggest box, and this is what I'm using to show the actual assignment itself. And so as I go through pages, you can see there's a consistency there, and that's what the grid is for. If I go down here, you can see this is waiting to place a perspective in here, and I'll show you how to place images in a little bit, but actually in a later video. But you can see here, there was that box that was a part of that golden mean that was created here, and that's what I used to guide the starting and stopping points for this visual reference, and I used it to create the guidelines for all of these images that are placed in here. You can see here again. You can see here, I've used it again to guide the location of the start and stop of these swatches here. So you can see how a grid becomes really, really important as a way to organize information in a meaningful way, in a beautiful way, and in a consistent way, so that as you start to place things on various slides or pages within your InDesign template, it has really nice consistency throughout. Now, eventually, when everything is in place, what I'm going to do is go to my master page, and I can click on each of these boxes and hide them so that I don't, so that I don't see them on the rest of the pages in the template. But they're still there if I want to go ahead and add more boxes later. So let's just say I'm going to hide these. Okay, right click and hide. I'll go ahead and hide these as well. Okay, so now it's hiding on the master page, but it doesn't look like it's applied to all of them. Let's see. Oh yeah, here you go. So you can see they're all hidden. And now if I go to view, then I can look at this and show this as high quality display. And I can do view, screen mode, presentation. And now I can flip through my portfolio using the arrow buttons and take a look at how this grid is creating a good balance of negative space and positive space, while also providing all of the information that's required in a consistent way. And so we still have a little bit more work to do on this portfolio itself, but I'm going to hit the escape button, and it's going to bring me back to my InDesign template in my interface. I'll go ahead and unhide all of the boxes, but for now, you have an understanding of how master pages are used to dictate the arrangement of all of the slides within your template, how to use master pages so that as you have different categories of pages, you can start to keep the layout consistent and pick and choose how you want the layouts to be with an ease of repetition. And then you have seen how using a grid, for example, that's based on something like the golden mean or any other kind of grid, can help you organize elements within a page so that they have a really nice proportion and really great relationship between image and text.